Welcome back to Teresa's Dead. My name is Teresa and I'm very much alive. I have an awful, garbage, filthy mouth, so viewer discretion is advised, but if you're not into that or weird stuff in general, this is definitely not the place for you. Feel free to X out the video here. No harm, no foul, but I'll remember our time fondly. Y'all, guess who got on it today? Guess who got up early? Guess who marched to Sephora? Guess who picked up the new Makeup by Mario? Makeup by Mario. I'm from New York, okay? I know. It's Mario. No, it's Mario. Blame my disgusting New York accent, okay? Makeup by Mario released a new foundation and it literally just came into stock and I was like, let me go get it. And I'm so... Well, you know what? We'll talk about that in a second. If you have been living under a rock and, you know, you were enjoying your family time as opposed to just sitting and looking at Instagram, let me tell you a little bit about this foundation. Surreal Skin Liquid Foundation retails for $42. This foundation comes in 30 shades. It's a breathable, luminous foundation that effortlessly builds and blends to illuminate the complexion with customizable long-wearing coverage. So this baby has a natural finish, it's hydrating, it's long-wearing, and you're able to get a medium coverage with it. So when I went to Sephora, they had a small selection of foundations that you can actually shade match. Thankfully, I chose correctly. And I am the shade 2N. Now, typically what I look for in a foundation is usually something either in the cool or neutral zone. I do not look good in warm tone foundations. If I do get something that's warm tone, it looks like something's wrong with me. Like I just don't look right. So that's why I love neutral, because it's kind of the best of both worlds, because sometimes cool tone foundations can leave you looking a little either dead or Porky Pig-ish. That said, 2N was the perfect shade for me. So if you look like me, uncooked chicken, this might be your best bet. However, I do invite you to go to the store and actually get properly shade matched, because in between like 1, 2, and 3, there were some differences. 1 was incredibly light. 2 was kind of like bordering on light, but as you can see, is a pretty good match for me. And 3 was incredibly too dark for me. So it's kind of interesting, the shades. That said, in today's video, we're gonna do a first impressions. I'm going to show you how I applied my makeup, which, spoiler alert, I really just did the foundation because everything else I kind of had on my face. But if you are curious, what I have on my eyes is the Sage the Day by ColourPop. Good old Lord and Savior ColourPop. This is a great palette. So if you see it and you like it, pick it up. The quality is phenomenal. Anywhoosies, let's go back to past me. I don't know why I had to pause, but let's go back to old me. I always feel like I messed that up. Whatever, let's just go back in time. Okay, so this is what my face looks like. I know, I'm going through something, okay? I'm a little red. So what I'm gonna do right now is I'm gonna add my primer of choice, the thing that I just absolutely cannot shut the hell up about. Ritual Defee Thorn Oil. Love this stuff. I am a dry beast and I need hydration in my life. And this is going to give me hydration. Don't be alarmed about how red my face gets. As soon as I touch it, I turn red, blah, 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 blah. It's all good. I'm tempted to throw a little color corrector on, just a little bit, but I kind of want to see how this works though, in terms of covering up redness without it. You know what? Let's not use it. Let's just use it with primer. And you know what? Let's do half the face. I'm gonna do half this portion. We're gonna put a little color corrector on the side and I'm not gonna put anything on this side because I do have redness on both sides of my face, but like I cannot stop looking at myself because I'm really red. So I just wanna neutralize it just a little bit. I'm not gonna put too much on, just enough to make me less self-conscious. So funny, when I was a kid, I used to get so like redder than this and I hated it so much. I would turn purple and people would be like, are you okay? Are you okay? And it's like, I can't help it. I'm fair and I'm Irish. I just cannot help this shit. It's the most annoying thing. It sucks when people can read the emotion just based on how red you are. My red-faced monsters will understand what that is. They get it. It's terrible. It's funny, my brother-in-law, he gets red cheeks too. When I saw that for the first time, I was like, oh, it's more of a scary red-faced monsters out here. Okay, all right, so I have a little bit of color corrector. As you can see, it neutralized some of that in my face. And I'm not gonna touch this side, so you see I have some redness over here. Let's see how well this covers it. So I chose the shade 2N because it was kind of the perfect option for me. I am fair as fuck. The best way that I can describe it. I look like a plastic bag floating in the wind, okay? So I need something that will give me a little bit of life, and I felt like 2N was that. 3W was the next one, and it was way too dark for me. And then I believe the one after that was like a cool tone one. That looked a little funky on me. This is the best that I could get. But I'm going to apply this with a brush first. I'm just gonna put a little on the back of my hand, and we're just gonna go to town. And I'm gonna use this new brush that I have been loving lately. It's from Laura Lee. This is a great foundation brush. It's a synthetic brush. This is what she looks like. Pretty creamy. I feel like this could be a little bit too light, but it's gonna be okay. Actually, no, this is actually a pretty good match for me. All right. It's going on so evenly. Wow. Holy, okay. All right, Mario, look at you. There are some brush marks. That's okay though. All right, so this is with just 1.5 pumps on. You do see some redness down here a little bit, but overall, I think it's really good coverage. So I'm just gonna do another 1.5 pumps. We're gonna do it on this side. Okay. Listen, it's going good. It's going good. There's nothing bad I could say about this. Looking pretty good. So I'm just gonna take the little excess that I have on the back of my hand, and I'm just going to gently do my nose. I have a very, very dry nose, so I don't like to put too much product on it because otherwise it makes me look like my nose should be chopped off. It looks like a mummy's dick, not cute. So we're just gonna put a little bit of product in there, and now I'm just going to gently pat my face because there are a couple of brush marks, but not terrible. I like this. This is good. It's reminding me of Haus Labs, just in terms of like how it's going on and how it's sitting beautifully on the nose. It basically looks like my skin, but better. Fuck. Okay, all right, listen, I like it. I like it, I'm a fan. This is good. All right, so I have a little bit of redness here that I am going to take just 1/2 pump, just that. I am gonna just put a little product right there. Actually, I really don't need it on this side. This is actually pretty good. Actually, no, I'm gonna put it a little down here because I do see some redness right there. But I have to say, you know what? It feels like high medium coverage. Let's see if we can build it up to full. I'm gonna go in with the sponge. Yeah, I mean, I do see some redness. I don't, you know what, let's do a little more, just a little bit more. I'm gonna go in with a brush because I feel like with the brush I get more coverage. That looks a lot better. I'm gonna gently go over it with the sponge. Not bad. I don't think I can get like a full coverage, kind of like KBD Good Apple. Like that shit is full coverage, right? I don't think I can get that here, but I can get a high medium and I'm okay with that. But I just love how juicy my skin looks. It looks so fucking good. I love this. Okay, so what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna put a little bit of concealer, I'm gonna put a little bit of powder, and we're gonna come right back. So I put a little bit of concealer and I set my face with one of my favorite setting powders, the Haus Labs Translucent Setting Powder. This looks really good. This looks really, really good. I don't have a bad thing to say about it. Even with a little bit of powder, it's still very, very luminous. And I'm pretty sure that has everything to do with the fact that I use a very hydrating primer. So this has a natural finish, it's hydrating, but for me, if I don't use a glowy primer, it kind of sits a little bit more matte on my skin, like a soft matte. But I think with the addition of it, gives me much more of a radiant glow. So of course, it's always a preference whether you want to be a glowy alien slut goddess like myself, or if you just want to be a soft matte hoe. Anyway, if you want to do that, that's on you, baby. But I think this looks really, really good though. So I'm just gonna add a little bit of bronzer, a little bit of blush, a lot of highlighter, and we're gonna come back. I fucking love this, okay? Like, I am so pleasantly surprised about this foundation. Where have you been all my life, bitch? Like, where have you been? Why am I saying I? So dramatically, but this is great. This is fantastic. I am so happy that I tried this. This is so good, and I can't wait to continue to keep using it because if I can get this every goddamn day, I'm happy. Now, I don't know. Oh, God damn it. All right. What I look for in a foundation is something that just keeps me hydrated and makes me look like I'm alive. Because I have very, very dry skin, oftentimes at the end of the day, I look like an old shoe. Like a dusty shoe you found in the attic. The call is coming from inside the house. I just look all kinds of weird. And I hate that you could take a little Swiffer and dust my face and you could remove some of the powder and the buildup. Like, it's that serious. That said, this foundation, it reminds me of Haus Labs because the longer I wear it, the more I love it. Granted, this has only been like maybe 5 or 6 hours or so for me wearing it, because how I did the video today is I kind of went straight into applying it and then I just kind of went out and about. Granted, today in Florida, it's like 50 degrees outside, so it's super comfortable, okay? I'm not sweating at all. Bitch, I'm wearing a jacket. I'm wearing a jacket. Who would have thought? I'm actually kind of mad that I threw out my Ugg boots, because like, I'm not gonna need this shit. I need those Ugg boots back. It's fucking cold here, but I love it though. It's like springtime in New York here right now. Anyway, so all that to say, I went out today, did a couple of different errands, but I wasn't overexerting myself to the point where I was like sweating and just like a goddamn mess. I did wear glasses today, and I will say the only thing that I found that could be like kind of annoying with this is that there is a slight bit of transfer. So when I had my glasses, I did notice that there were like kind of small indents on my nose, but thankfully I could pat them out with a finger and they're gone. This foundation reminds me actually a little bit of Haus Labs, but also a little bit of the NARS foundation, I want to say light fracking, but that's not even the fucking name of it. Light reflecting skin, reflecting skin. That's a movie. This one. This foundation, it reminds me a little bit of that. It's like those two had a baby and then this was born, because it has this really beautiful skin-like texture. And sometimes with those kinds of foundations, I find that if you put a little bit of powder on it, even if you just put a small amount, sometimes it kind of gets all like gummy and gunky, and then it just starts kind of creating a little bit of a texture. That did not happen at all. When applied with powder, which by the way, I used 2 different powders over this foundation. I used the Haus Labs, and I also used a little bit of the Kaleidos powder, just like around here, because I noticed it had some redness poking through, so I kind of wanted to like bake it a little bit. This foundation just works so well with both of those powders. And I love that the longer I wear it, the more my skin just looks super luminous and hydrated and not like just a fry basket. Like I look really, really good. Now, in terms of coverage, I think this is a strong medium, if not a high medium. To get it to full coverage, I think I just have too much redness in my skin that it's kind of impossible to cover up. It does work beautifully so far with my color corrector, which is great. So on half of my skin, I used the color corrector, the other half I didn't, and I like both results. There were no differences at all. Of course, the primer of choice that I used today was my Thorn Oil, which I want to say 99.9% of the time always works with foundations. So I'm glad that these two are just a good mix. I didn't find this foundation to sit in my pores, create any unnecessary texture. It wasn't difficult to blend out. If anything, you know, when used with a brush, you do see some brush marks. So it's always nice to kind of just use like a dampened sponge to take out those marks. But in reality, it actually really wasn't that bad. When I did build up some of the product in certain areas where I had some redness, it didn't look cakey. It didn't look cakey at all, which I'm so thankful for, because a lot of times with foundations, once you put a little bit too much on, it could really mess shit up. This looks really seamless. I haven't noticed anything weird with this foundation. It's not settling into fine lines other than having a slight transfer where my glasses sit. That's about it. I feel like if things go as well as they are, this is going to be like on the level of my Haus Labs foundation. Like this is going to be something that I'm going to need in the makeup casket with me. So if you're in the market for a new foundation, I say give this a whirl, but go to the store to get shade matched, because the shades, like I mentioned, there are some differences between the few, and I feel like that's probably going to be the biggest struggle here, is to find the one that works well for you. Ooh, the other thing I do want to say about this, since I've only had it on for about 5 to 6 hours, I have not noticed any signs of oxidation, which is amazing, because that's the other problem that sometimes I have with foundations, is that once I have it on, a couple of hours later, I'm just like a whole different fucking person. That is not the case here. This stays true to color. And again, this works just so well with powder products. Now, the other products that I have on my face are powder products. Everything sits so beautifully, so well together. I'm just thoroughly impressed. Like, I honestly cannot believe how good this shit is. Like, this is so goddamn good. So, if you are in the market for checking out a new foundation, I highly recommend checking this one out. Of course, I'll give you an update as I continue to use it to let you know if I'm still loving it. But so far, this has been amazing. I cannot, like, I'm blown away. Blown away. My head is gone. Like, that's how fucking, I love this. I love this. All hail Mario. I really like this. I cannot believe it. I gotta say, like, some of his stuff is actually pretty good. Not all of it. His eyeshadows, But everything else though has been lovely though, lovely. Anyway, now I want to hear from y'all. Let me know down below if you were interested in picking this up. And if you did, if you're having the same results that I am, or do you hate it? Let me know because I love hearing from you. And with that said, I want to say thank you so much for watching. I truly, truly, truly appreciate it as always. Feel free to like, comment, hit that subscribe button. It's free, and hit that bell icon for notification of all my future posts. Follow me on Twitter, Instagram, Patreon, and YouTube members. Thank you so much for keeping this delicious, disgusting, filthy, trashy, really filthy, really gross, really nasty garbage boat afloat. I couldn't do without you. I love your adorable little delicious faces, and I just want to gobble you all up so you can live inside my belly and we can be one. If you want to know what's currently on my face, everything you need to know will be listed in the description box below, and I'll see you little Care Bears later. Bye.